Welcome to this special episode of the Naan Curry podcast. Today we have Devdutt Patnaik on the show. Devdutt is a legend. Everyone knows him. अगर आपको नहीं पता तो ये आपकी पर्सनल प्रॉब्लम है. आप गधे हैं. आप गूगल कीजिए. Welcome to the show, Devdutt.
Hi everyone.
Devdutt, the person who was the happiest to hear that you're coming on the show was my mother. She is an avid reader of your books, and she said कि उनको जरूर बता देना that his books and podcasts actually make भगवान more relatable, more humanized. So she wanted to just thank you for that. So message from her.
Welcome.
And जिस तरीके से इनफैक्ट ऑफ कोर्स मैंने टीवी पे देखा है कि जैसे भगवान के दर्शन करने के लिए लोग ऐसे एक टांग पे खड़े होके तपस्या करते थे या फिर अरदास बेसिकली करते थे और फिर भगवान दर्शन देते थे. हमने भी ट्विटर पे बहुत किया है. वन टाइम हमने ऐसी तपस्या की, लेकिन एज वी ऑल नो कि कर्म करो, फल की चिंता मत करो, होएगा तो होएगा. तो हमने भी बिल्कुल अपने कर्म किए और अच्छे कर्म हुए होंगे, तभी आज भगवान हमारे घर पर पधारे. आई ऑलवेज थिंक बाय द वे देवदत्त दैट अभी की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, ग्रोइंग अप जब टीवी पे चलता था माइथोलॉजिकल सीरीज आ रहे, महाभारत रामायण, सुबह DD1 पे आता था 7-8 बजे के आसपास. तो काफी लोग बिल्कुल जो एक्टर्स थे उनके ही बिल्कुल ऐसे पाए लागू करके बैठ जाते थे. तो आई ऑलवेज थिंक लाइक हैड यू बीन इन दैट एरा एज वेल, परहैप्स यू वुड हैव अ सिमिलर काइंड ऑफ फैन फॉलोइंग देन, जब बिल्कुल ऐसे कि देवदत्त जी आए हैं. देवदत्त जी रिमाइंड्स मी, देवदत्त व्हाट वी शुड कॉल यू, देवदत्त पटनायक साहब और देवदत्त जी?
Just Devdutt, please. Thank you.
Not Devdutt ji because Cyrus says a mythological figure. So Devdutt, we're going to be talking straight up to about food. अब in one of your articles you have written about अन्य क्या है, और अन्य का सार ही ब्रह्म है, not ब्रह्म but ब्रह्म है. So what is then अन्य as per mythology, as per Hindu mythology, and अन्य का अन्नपूर्णा से क्या connection है?
So Anna means food, and the whole nature can be seen from the point of view of food, because plants eat elements and animals eat plants, animals eat other animals, and that is how the nature functions. Like your body is food for termites and maggots and worms. If a tiger sees you, he sees food. So we don't realize that our entire body is actually food. So Anna is both food as well as flesh. It means the same thing. There is no difference between food and flesh. And who provides you and cooks it is called Annapurna, who provides it to you. So Annapurna is a goddess who gives you food, who gives you flesh.
Okay. So is Annapurna the goddess of food, or are there other goddess and other departments as well within food?
So Annapurna is the goddess of food. Shakambari is the goddess of vegetables. Lakshmi is the goddess of the kitchen, generally the prosperity of the kitchen. So Lakshmi ka bhandar, they will say, the pantry belongs to Lakshmi. So you have these kind of various terminologies used depending on which school of thought you belong to. There's no one standard like this. But Annapurna is more popular in the Shaivite tradition, and Lakshmi is more popular in the Vaishnavite traditions.
लक्ष्मी माता को ज्यादा ही डिपार्टमेंट्स नहीं दे दिया गया है? खाना भी उनके पास है, पैसे भी उनके पास है, सब उनके पास है. तो अब फूड का काफी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल होता है इन जनरल, आई थिंक हर एक रिलीजन माइथोलॉजी में, घरों में. अब जैसे भगवान कृष्ण की बात करें तो उनके बारे में है कि मक्खन चोर, मक्खन दही दूध चोर हुआ करते थे. देन उनके घर पे जब सुदामा भी आते हैं तो भी वो अन्न लेके आते हैं. देन वी हैव शबरी के बेर, विच यू हैव आल्सो डिबंक्ड इन अ वे इन वन ऑफ योर आर्टिकल, कि शबरी के बेर झूठे बेर शायद नहीं खिलाए गए थे. तो शबरी के बेर हैं. देन ऑफ कोर्स वी हैव गॉट भीम, जिनको कि कहा था कि पहले अमंग्स्ट द मेल कुक्स, एक्चुअली दो ही कहा जाता है एज पर माई नॉलेज, विच इज नल एंड भीम. जब डिस्गाइज भी किया था पांडवों ने तो भी शेफ के रूप में बने, शेफ या बावर्चियों के रूप में गए थे. तो फूड का कितना रिलेशन है माइथोलॉजी से, हिंदुस्तानी माइथोलॉजी से, और कितना मेटाफर यूज किया गया है इसमें कि एज अ है या फिर नहीं, इट हैज अ मीनिंग, अ डीपर मीनिंग टू इट?
So in all cultures, not just in India, around the world, food is very important. It plays a very important role in terms of both metaphors. कभी कभी metaphor होता है, कभी जैसे भीम के साथ they are trying to explain something कि जो खाना बहुत पसंद है खाना, so he likes to cook food so naturally, but जब उसको punishment दिया जाता है, he becomes a cook, and a cook is not supposed to eat food till he feeds others. That is the rule. कि जब तक तुम दूसरों को नहीं खिलाओगे तुम नहीं खाओगे. So in a way he's been taught a lesson. जो राजा, जो राजकुमार है, जो हमेशा खाता है, and जो हमेशा enjoys his eating and doesn't bother about other people's share of food, is now forced in a particular situation कि तुम पहले दूसरों को खाना खिलाओ, and then he'll food. So that's how the story of Bhim and his food cooking comes, because it makes you think about तुम किसको खिला रहे हो, क्यों खिला रहे हो, क्यों खाना पका रहे हो, किसको खाना पका रहे हो. So all that sort of emerges in the whole idea of food is used. So food can be used in different ways. I can show food to show respect. I can show food to show insult. I can use food. परोसने का टेक्निक अलग होता है, खाने का टेक्निक अलग होता है. अगर मैं राइट हैंड से फूड सर्व करूँ तो उसका कुछ अलग मतलब होता है, लेफ्ट हैंड से करूँ तो कुछ अलग मतलब होता है. If I serve towards my body, then it means I care for you. If I throw it outside the body, then I'm insulting you. So the way you serve food, आप कौन सा खाना बनाते हो, कैसे परोसते हो, कौन खाता है, all that can have different meanings. And humans can give meaning to anything. So every culture will give its own specific meaning.
But why around food only? इतने सारे चीजें हैं, नेचर है, इंसान है, खाने के आसपास.
First primary need is always food. The difference between a living organism and a non-living object is food. Okay. So that is the fundamental difference between a living and non-living. जो पत्थर होता है वो खाना नहीं खाता, और जो plant होता है वो खाना खाता है. It needs sunlight, it needs water. Microorganisms, they are continuously looking for food. So food, it separates the living and the non-living. Everything else is secondary. Everything else is secondary. So although people may say, even animal fear comes because someone else looks at them as food. So the deer is frightened because the tiger looks at it as food. Look at the plants. The plants have green leaves because they want to produce food, not for fun. They have it for food. Roots are for food. They produce thorns because they don't want others to eat them. Okay. You produce fruits and flowers so that you can reproduce, and that becomes food for others. Yeah. So Upanishads are very clear ki jivo jivat se jivanam. Everything that is living is based on eating the living. So the whole cycle of life is a cycle of food, and food is given. In science we'll use the word metabolism. Correct. But ultimately it comes down to food, nothing else. The Upanishads are very clear on it.
Okay.
That's very interesting. So often there's so many practices that are ritualized. Say eating practices are ritualized and need to be followed by a certain religion or a community, to be part of that religion. For example, Jains not eating root vegetables, or Hindus fasting on certain days, or doing certain kind of fasts. Would you say that these eating practices or rituals, they came bottom up due to, say, a topographical reason, for example, the weather of a certain area, and later became part of the religious groups or the community's rituals so that they could actually be enforced for the health of that community? In other words, are they rational, these rituals, or were they just arbitrary? What is your opinion on this?
No, see, we rationalize these food rituals. So there is no scientific reason for Jewish kosher food. If you ask, but if you tell the Jewish person that, he'll get very upset. Ki kosher hota hai, or there is haram halal, or there is paap, punya, pakka, all kinds of food. Basically, they're tribal practices. And across the world, how do you identify yourself is by your food habits. So for example, in Alibaba and Charlie's Chor, we hear the famous story कि जब वो चोर आता है तो वो बोलते हैं मैं नमक नहीं खाऊंगा, नमक मत डालना खाने में, because वो नमक हराम नहीं बनना चाहता है. So he doesn't want to be the breaker of the bond of salt. Now he has given meaning to salt. So salt has given meaning. Not eating pork, not eating beef, not eating lasan, So these are different ways in which you sort of differentiate yourself from the community. So, in a family, somebody will come and say that I'm vegetarian. They're positioning themselves. Somebody will say, I don't eat. Nowadays, I'm vegan. So, वो कुछ अलग नहीं है, वही है. There's no difference. These are all positioning. Of course, they'll all give health reasons for it. Everybody will give you health reasons. Go to kosher, go to halal haram, go to beef, go to pork, go to any food habit. But nature has not differentiated. Nature says everybody can eat everything. You have to decide तुम्हारे body के लिए क्या suit करता है, नहीं suit करता है. So, for example, the digestive capacity of people, say in the Eskimo, the cold regions, they can eat meat, raw meat. कुछ नहीं होता है. Indian side, as you come towards the tropics, you will see more and more spices being used because you can't digest meat that easily. So digestive habits change, and nature also changes. It starts creating more and more spices towards the equator, and there are less spices being produced towards this North Pole and South Pole. So people who live in the North Pole and South Pole can actually eat meat raw without. But if you try to do that, say closer to the equator, you will get the stomach upset. You will have issues with the stomach. So nature also produces different kinds of food. That being the case, but most tribal practices are based on arbitrary reasoning. So you won't. So you have this practice everywhere. This tribe will eat this meat. That tribe will eat. So you differentiate because every tribe wants to be different from the other. हम आपके जैसे नहीं हैं. Which is a very. That's why clothes are different. Tattoos are different. Jewelry is different. Eating habits are different. There is nothing special or universal about it. It's just a way of distinguishing. But we don't. It's just sociological. It's not physiological.
Very interesting. So that unique diet or unique way of eating gives us identity, and that eventually gives us meaning that we are this unique kinds of peoples on this planet, which we're not.
So the ego likes to be fed a lot, but the ego feeding and body feeding are different. So ego feeding is हमारे यहाँ हम ऐसे खाते हैं, so we give it an ego. Our ego is attached to that thing versus what the body needs. The body can need, so you can see the person is वो किसको खाना खिला रहा है, अपने अहंकार को खाना खिला रहा है या अपने शरीर को खाना खिला रहा है.
Correct.
And that's so that's what you have to see, and
that's why people get. Sorry, go on.
No, that's all it is. So, when Shabri ke aapne bol rahe the, Shabri ka bear, so she's feeding the stomach, but Lakshman is looking at the ego, na? Ki Rajkumar ko tum kaise de sakte ho jhoota khana. So she's not looking at all that. She's saying, bhuke ho, khana kha lo. So she's looking at the body, and Lakshman is looking at his ego, ki I'm a royal prince. Hum aise nahi khana khate hain. So it's just that.
Yeah. That's why अगर आप कोई vegan को veganism के harms बताओ तो वो personally offend हो जाता है, personally offend, which is I think the key here.
So the ego is always present. The ego is always present. They get hysterical over these things. But ये सब जगह होता है. It's something unique. पहले ज़माने में भी होता था. Grandmothers will feel superior by saying, नहीं हम आपके खाना बर्तन non-veg आप खाते हो तो हम आपका glass नहीं छुएंगे. So that is how untouchability starts. But we don't realize it. अनटचेबिलिटी की शुरुआत ऐसे होती है ना कि हम आपका घर का पानी नहीं पिएंगे, हम आपका, and that's not just in India, in ancient Rome it was there in different cultures. To drink water from your house was a very big thing. आपका घड़ा छूना, आपका vessels छूना. So this is how untouchability starts, because I distinguish myself from you. You are different from me. So people have been killed for lesser crimes.
Since you mentioned untouchability, I have to ask you. So on our podcast, we often talk about millets a lot. And historically, if you see, Dalits are known to consume millets the most in India. Something that upper castes, so-called upper castes, actually grew to feed cattle. And now we find that millets are actually nutritionally superior to rice and wheat. And they contain a high amount of proteins, dietary fibers, iron, zinc, whatnot. And these grains actually release sugar slowly into the bloodstream and are also considered gluten-free. So, I mean, explain to me why Brahmins and upper caste, why they wouldn't have the superior grain and why they would choose wheat or rice over millets.
So it's about, to produce millet, you don't have to do plowing. You just have to grow it on the ground and it grows. To grow rice, it requires a lot of effort. You need water, you need to plant it 2 times, you need a lot of labor. Now there must be a reason, right, why rice becomes popular in China. Why does it become popular in India, not millet? Right? There must be a reason. It can't be only because of Brahmins in India. Chinese, they are eating rice, right? Rice is easier to digest. So it becomes also the always remember in society how wealth moves, one group of people will take what is considered the better one, and the rest is left for the others, which is always in every society. And in India, the feudal system takes a caste form. It's not that unique to India. In China, for example, meat was eaten by the upper classes, and the bones and the skin and the feet and everything which is eaten by the lower classes. In the royal families, meat is eaten by the rich people, और वो जो हड्डी बड्डी जो बचते हैं वो अलग होते हैं. So even when you're eating, so every food is classified based on class. कि अब घर में होता है ना, बेटों को वो अच्छा पीस देंगे, बेटियों को कम खाना देंगे. The head of the family will eat first, the second will eat second. So एक hierarchy होता है. तुम्हारी औकात के हिसाब से खाना अलग अलग होता है. तो आप जब औकात चेंज करते हो, so when you become powerful, you will also start eating rice. You will not continue eating ragi. So that becomes a marker of your social status. कि मेरा, if you're taking your girlfriend out, you won't take her to eat ragi dosa on the roadside, ना? You want to impress कि McDonald's में लेके जाऊंगा, तो औकात दिखता है उससे. तो खाना औकात होता है. So we give khana aukat. Nobody's seeing nutritional value. You won't tell the girl, I'm giving you nutritious food for the first date. She'll throw you out. So you will take her to a cool place which serves horrible food, but it's expensive. And that's how you impress the girl. So, you know, that's how, so even food has a whole hierarchy. Nothing to do with, again, just as we give it meaning, we give it class consciousness. कि ये लोग, आप लोग ऐसे खाएंगे. Which hand you use, what do you touch first? That is also used for tribal marking. Even amongst Brahmins, there are different groups of Brahmins. So if you go to certain Brahmin places in South India, there are different dining rooms for different castes. Even amongst Brahmins, there are different Brahmin groups. And you're identified by the way you eat your food. Pehla chawal kaun khata hai, pehla dal kaun chota hai. So depending on how you pick your food, your class is identified, your status is identified.
Got it.
So
evolutionary psychology theory would also say that if you have wealth, then you would do more costly signaling. So in a way, eating rice and wheat is more costly signaling that I have more abundance of time, resources, so I can produce that rice and wheat, and I don't need to produce millets, which will take fewer resources.
And it takes so that's why food which is cooked over time, right? Which takes a long time to cook. What is called cuisines.
Yeah.
आप फटाफट खाना बनाते हो. It's not something that is looked. I have पूरे दिन, you know, when you're having say a halim, then you need you have to be from a landed group of people. You have extra money, you have food. So it is about. Also remember, today we have abundance of food. 500 years ago, you didn't have access to food like that. If you read the Mongol stories, the richest, powerful will sit next to the fire. And Genghis Khan was always kept far away from the fire. तो ठंड में वो बैठता था. जो weak होते थे वो मर जाएंगे, और जो strong होता है वो धीरे-धीरे करके he moves closer to the fire. So that is how in every society you will create hierarchies. That is nothing normal. It's just the way human beings are designed.
Sure.
One thing that you mentioned about differentiation in class and the kinds of food that is being offered to people and family, that makes me remind me like different Bhagwan also get offered different kinds of food, and actually not just different Bhagwan, लेकिन same Bhagwan जैसे ही अपना ऐसे कस्बा बदलते हैं, मतलब फ्रॉम दिल्ली जैसे ही वो जाके यूपी में बैठ जाते हैं या फिर साउथ इंडिया में बैठते हैं, उनका खाना भी चेंज होता है. तो ये जो उनका खाना चेंज होता है, या फिर भगवान को देव और देवी दोनों का खाना अलग होता है, और जो लोग रिलेटेड होते हैं सन्यासी, उनका भी खाना अलग होता है. तो ये इसका क्या कोई पैरामीटर है, कोई रीजनिंग है इसके पीछे, या जस्ट आई फेल्ट लाइक गिविंग light food to Devi and heavy food to Dev?
So the goddess is typically given blood. तो देवी को हमेशा खून चढ़ाया जाता है, तो बलि दिया जाता है. Usually भैंस का बलि, the male buffalo is given. Now the reason for it is very practical. The male buffalo cannot be domesticated. You can't use a male buffalo to जैसे bullock cart होता है, जो कैटल होते हैं, काउ होता है, तो द मेल कैन बी कैस्ट्रेटेड एंड टर्न्ड इनटू अ बुल एंड कैन बी यूज्ड फॉर प्लाउइंग एंड टू कैरी द बुलक कार्ट. लेकिन बफेलो का जो मेल होता है, इट ओनली कंज्यूम्स फूड, इट हैज नो इकोनॉमिक वैल्यू एज सच, एंड देयरफॉर द भैंस वाज नॉट लाइक्ड वेरी मच, एंड देयरफॉर भैंस को अभी मारना है, बट बुरा भी लगता है, कैसे मारेंगे उसको, बेचारा, उसने क्या गलती की है. but you need a logical explanation for it. So आप उसको बोलोगे महिषासुर है तो देवी को चढ़ाओ, और दे विल से कि देवी का पति था जिसने उसको बिट्रे किया था, तो उसको पोतराज बोलते हैं. पोतराज इज बफेलो किंग, एंड ये इसको हर गांव में इंडिया में चढ़ाते थे बलि के हिसाब से. बट बेसिकली फिर उसका जो खून और मिक्स करते थे सीड्स के साथ, एंड दे वुड put it in the field, so they'll say usse uska fertility will increase. But basically you can see how the economic value of the buffalo is established through a ritual format. तो पहले जमाने में rituals were used to establish economic structures, gods, goddesses, temples. These are all various methods in which you handle. जैसे scapegoat होता था पहले in the amongst the Hebrews, every year they would kill the scapegoat. And the scapegoat was killed for पूरे पाप जो होता था कम्युनिटी का, वो उस गोट के ऊपर डालते थे और गोट को भगाते थे, फिर तो उसको मारते थे, उसको खाते थे. That is various ways in which you try to explain these things. So जो देवी होती है, देवी को हमेशा खून दिया जाता है. And nowadays many people say that no हमारी गॉडेस को वेजिटेरियन देते हैं. I keep saying देखो देवी को खून पसंद है, अगर तुम दोगे नहीं तो वो ले लेगी. तो वो वायलेंस होता है उस सोसाइटी में, बिकॉज पीपल डोंट रियलाइज वन ऑफ द रीजंस. जैसे बकरा ईद का जो कॉन्सेप्ट है, वी हियर द स्टोरी ऑफ गॉड कुड टेक Abraham's son and said, okay, I will not take your son, I will take the goat. But if you look at the philosophy behind it, कि in a desert culture जहाँ पे कुछ नहीं उगता है, the only food you can get is the goat turns, जो ग्रास तो आप खा नहीं सकते हो वहां पे, वो turns it into an edible format which is a flesh. And you are being told that if that goat or that sheep does not die, you will die. It's as simple as that. तो तुम उसको नहीं मारोगे तो तुम मरोगे. तो या तो you should be grateful कि वो जो पशु को तुम बलि चढ़ा रहे हो, अगर you should be grateful कि उसका death has ensured your survival. So these are old tribal practices across the world. And nowadays we don't see the death of an animal because it is done in industrial setups. And therefore we don't realize that life, our entire lovely life which you're leading, is based on violence. जो vegetarians होते हैं, they don't realize that in order to get rice on your table, you have to kill all the rats, you have to kill all those earthworms, you have to castrate the bull which has going to plow your field. तो ये जो वायलेंस होता है देवी के मंदिर में, वो वायलेंस को दिखाया जाता है ताकि आपको पता चले कि भैया तुम्हारे घर चलाने के लिए इतना वायलेंस हुआ है. शिवजी जो होते हैं, ही इज अ बैरागी. वो बोलता है मुझे भूख ही नहीं लगता है, मुझे खाना ही नहीं खाना है, तो उसको ही इज नॉट इंटरेस्टेड इन योर फूड. यू कैन ऑफर हिम एनीथिंग यू वांट. तो दूध चढ़ाते हैं, ये चढ़ाते हैं, बट ही इज नॉट इंटरेस्टेड. इट जस्ट फ्लोज आउट. सो दे आर शोइंग, डेमोन्स्ट्रेटिंग कि इनको भूख नहीं लगता, आप जो भी चढ़ाओगे कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. ही इज नॉट इंटरेस्टेड, which is ironical because his wife is the goddess of the kitchen. So she is cooking but he doesn't want to eat. So that is the conflict कि जिसको अगर भूख नहीं लगती उसको खाना तुम परोसोगे तो क्या पॉइंट है. And then जो विष्णु होते हैं, he is associated with the best food in the world. तो tasty food. So he likes kachoris and puris and halwa and जो इंडिया का सबसे रिच फूड होता है, जस्ट टेस्टी फूड होता है. सो मक्खन, घी, बट यू विल नॉट गिव छेना, कॉटेज चीज, बिकॉज वो फटा हुआ दूध होता है. तो फटा हुआ दूध नहीं दिया जाएगा. सो बंगाली स्वीट्स आर नॉट गिवन एज, आजकल वो भी दे रहे हैं लोग, बट नॉर्मल इन अ टेम्पल फटा हुआ दूध नहीं दिया जाता है. एंड सो दैट्स व्हाई बंगाली स्वीट्स आर नॉट पार्ट ऑफ ऑफरिंग्स, बिकॉज वो फटता है दूध. Although it's nutritious and tasty and paneer is such a big thing, but paneer को आप कभी भगवान मंदिर में नहीं चढ़ाएंगे, कोई नहीं चढ़ाएगा. It's something that people, so you have these rituals. अभी जो बाबा जी होते हैं उनको आप पूरी हलवा खिलाएंगे, wheat, but no Vaishnav temple has wheat. They will always use rice. So जो वैष्णव टेम्पल्स होते हैं, जो श्रीनाथ जी का मंदिर है, वहां पे कभी पूरी नहीं होता है. wheat is not offered. हलवा के रूप में होता है wheat. But usually it will be rice-based products. Rice-based things are given. Butter is given. In Srirangam temple, they will give roti because one of his consorts is considered to be a Muslim princess. तो उसको बीबी नाचियार बोलते हैं, बीबी नाचियार in Srirangam, जहाँ पे वो उस दिन साल में एक साल में, see these are all ways of creating syncretic communities. उस दिन the deity will be dressed in a lungi. He will wear a Turkish boot. And he will be given roti to eat.
Wow.
So he's vegetarian, so he'll not be given anything non-veg, but he'll be given roti. So they will call it because they say it's Turk dharma. It is the food of the Turks. Now they also don't know why they're doing it. They're just practicing it. वो 500 साल से चल रहा है ये प्रथा. So you have these kind of rituals. So
interestingly कि अभी मैं जिस तरीके से I'm just assuming, I'm just putting 2 + 2 together कि when you said कि देवियों को खून चढ़ता है, blood चढ़ता है as compared to, and that in a way making me think कि बहुत powerful, like violence when you're showing कि violence हो रहा है इसका मतलब कि बहुत power house है, versus now when we think of women we are like अच्छा हमेशा उनको तसाया गया है, they have been pulled down. तो ये जो ब्लड एसोसिएशन है वायलेंस से, वो सब हाइपर मैस्कुलिन थिंग हम करते हैं, हम मर्द हैं तो हम करेंगे ये. लाइक आई रिमेंबर कपल ऑफ डेज बैक इंस्टाग्राम पे somebody was कोई जिम की लड़की होगी एंड ऑफ कोर्स इफ यू आर अ गर्ल एंड इफ यू आर अ जिम गर्ल तो यू गेट ट्रोल्ड. तो उसका था कि ओ यू लुक लाइक अ मैन. And then the girl trolled back saying, अच्छा, if I look like a man because I have muscles, तो तुम्हारे पास तो मसल नहीं है. What does that make you? which is very interesting. तो ये वायलेंस जो वुमेन से मेन में कब ट्रांसफर हो गया? वायलेंस मतलब ये ब्लड जो था.
So see, ये जेंडर के हिसाब से देखना is not, most mythologies are not to be seen as gender actions.
Okay.
So we do it as gender because we are gendered the world. हमने gender किया है. But food is food, and when the goddess is being shown, she represents nature. So really, it's showing nature. It is not showing women. It's showing nature. When Shiva is being shown, it's not showing men. It is showing बैरागी. और जब हम विष्णु को बोलते हैं तो वो बोलते हैं सामाजिक जो संस्कार क्या बोलते हैं संसारी होता है, who lives in society. That's all it means. It doesn't mean a man or a woman. So this gendered bifurcation is only people who, because see, most of the goddesses hold weapons and they are very violent, whether it is in Ambika, Padmavati, Saraswati, all these are associated with, but you'll also find not vegetarian goddesses, like Vaishnav Devi is vegetarian. North India mein the goddess is vegetarian. South India, East India, jaise Diwali. So it's not, one rule is not there. But generally, violence is associated with female goddesses across India. That is definitely a norm. Also, in all tribal societies, the women were considered to be very powerful. And across tribal literature and also old literature in India, women were considered to be more hypersexual. And one of the reasons to suppress and control them is because women are very powerful. और उनको अगर बांध के नहीं रखोगे तो घर बर्बाद हो जाएगा, सोसाइटी बर्बाद हो जाएगा, तो इनको कंट्रोल करना चाहिए. So these used to be the ideas in many tribal societies. So they would respect women, but be also frightened of women.
Before we go and slip into our first break, last question. You mentioned about Devi, so उनको खून चढ़ता है काफी, as in this is not you have mentioned, but पुराणों में लिखा है, मैंने तो रिसेंटली व्हाट्सएप पे पढ़ा था कि हम हिंदुस्तानी मतलब जो लोग सिंधु नदी के पास में रहते थे वो तो वेजिटेरियन है और हम तो सिर्फ साग सब्जी खाते हैं और ऐसे ही बड़े हुए हैं. कुछ दिनों पहले 2019 में या फिर 19 एंड और 20 अर्ली में एक हड़प्पा सिविलाइजेशन का फूड फेस्टिवल भी हुआ था जिसने बहुत ही कंट्रोवर्सी किया था बिकॉज उसमें भी नॉनवेज नहीं था. तो दैट ऑल्सो मेक्स मी थिंक कि हाँ, हम तो साग सब्जी खाने वाले लोग हैं और ये जो मांसाहार है ये तो पाश्चात्य सभ्यता है. और ऑफ कोर्स ये तो हम जैसे मुस्लिम, हम जैसे नहीं, मतलब हमारे बाप दादा ही लेके आए. तो ये व्हाट्सएप पे लिखा है और ये मुझे इस पर भरोसा है. व्हाट डू यू थिंक अबाउट इट?
Stupidity is there everywhere. We can't do anything about it. होने दो ना लोगों को, जो विश्वास करने दो. There are people who believe the earth is flat. In America there are people who believe that evolution did not happen. तो flat earth theory है, जो विश्वास करना है करो. जितना भी प्रमाण उनको दोगे वो नहीं सुनेंगे तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है. See, their ego is based on these kind of fantastic theories. See, most vegetarians are very nasty people. If you look at it, 90% of India's wealth is controlled by what? 1% of society. And 90% of that 1% is vegetarian. Which means vegetarian makes you greedy. Because logic है ना, because जितने भी धनवान है इंडिया में सब वेजिटेरियन है. तो मतलब something, there must be a correlation between vegetarian and greed. इतना पैसा करके क्या करोगे? पूरे देश बर्बाद हो रहा है. 99% of people are poor in our country. If you earn 60,000 rupees a month, you are in the top 5%. इतना गरीब है हमारा देश. तो ये inequality, जो social inequality है, शोषण हो रहा है, it's caused by vegetarians. Because most of the powerful people in our country are vegetarians. Most of the rich people are vegetarians. So जितने भी दुनिया में हमारे देश में जितना भी करप्शन होता है वो सब वेजिटेरियंस ही कर रहे हैं. तो ऐसे भी देखा जा सकता है ना. अभी बोलिए जितना रिच आदमी है, the richest people in our country are vegetarians. सब पैसा हड़प लिया. Powerful people, they are vegetarians. सब पावर हड़प लिया. तो सात्विक नहीं है ना, तो राजसिक हो गए. Which means logic shows that vegetarian food is not sattvic, it is rajasic. वो आपको greedy बनाता है, jealous बनाता है. तो I mean, as per data, ये data तो मेरा नहीं है, ये data तो proof है कि 1% of India, which is the richest in India, are all vegetarians. तो सब पैसा आप रख दिए. अगर सात्विक भोजन खाते थे तो आप कितने दानवीर होते थे, जेनरोसिटी करते थे, टैक्स पे करते थे, लोगों को दान ही नहीं करते हैं लोग. तो कुछ तो गड़बड़ होगा वेजिटेरियन फूड में. कुछ तो है.
हम तो अपनी ग्रीड पूरी कर लेते हैं मटन बिरयानी खा के और बटर चिकन खा के. हमें पैसे
वो पता नहीं है. जब आपको 1% हो जाएंगे तो हम आपके बारे में भी ऐसे बता देंगे. बट एज ऑफ टुडे India's top 1% is vegetarian and they are controlling all the wealth. और पूरे देश में इतना exploitation, corruption, गरीबी वो वेजिटेरियन के लोगों के लिए हुआ है ना.
तो कहाँ हमें बताया जाता है कि आप नॉनवेज खाते हो, मांसाहार करते हो तो ऐसे एंगर आता है. लाइक इफ यू लुक एट द मूवीज, राइट, द मोस्ट रिसेंट मूवी व्हिच आई स्टिल रिमेंबर, नाइसली मेड मूवी, पद्मावत, उसमें खिलजी कैरेक्टर इज वेरी नेगेटिव कैरेक्टर और उसको गोश्त खाते दिखाया गया. इतना बड़ा रान एक बार में रणवीर सिंह इज ईटिंग, व्हिच इज शोइंग लाइक लुक एट मी, आई एम सो पावरफुल, सो ग्रीडी. एंड आप बता रहे कि सब्जी खाने से सब्जी खोर जो होते हैं.
मैं डेटा देख रहा हूँ आजकल, मैं देख रहा हूँ जितने भी वो गुंडे हैं वो सब वेजिटेरियन हैं, जितने भी पावरफुल पॉलिटिशियन है वो भी वेजिटेरियन हैं. हाँ. जितने भी पूरे देश का धन लेने वाले लोग वो भी वेजिटेरियन हैं. तो मैंने सुना था कि वेजिटेरियन लोग बहुत ही त्यागी होते हैं, धन में. तो दिख नहीं रहा है. कहाँ है वो लोग? Have you seen a charitable Indian?
Not yet.
So वही होता है ना. So I have not seen charitable. Among the top charitable people in the world, how many vegetarians do you see?
It's true. We'll find them out. On that, let's take a small break.
And we're back with Devdutt Pattanaik. Devdutt, I'm curious. अगर हम वेस्टर्न खाने को देखें तो काफी हद तक, इफ आई जनरलाइज, इट इज वेरी स्टैंडर्डाइज्ड एंड हैज एग्जैक्ट प्रोपोर्शंस. मतलब फ्रेंच सॉस को ले लो आप, अगर कोई हॉलैंडेज सॉस, तो अगर कोई कॉलेज में आपको, culinary कॉलेज में कोई सिखाता है बनाने को, देन यू हैव टू मेक इट इन अ सर्टेन वे, एग्जैक्ट रेसिपी से बनाना होता है आपको. बट इंडियन फूड में रेसिपीज आर मोर फ्लूइड, इंट्यूटिव, स्वाद अनुसार. मैं अपनी मम्मी को बोलता हूँ थोड़ी मिर्ची और डाल दो, थोड़ा नमक और डाल दो. सो ये फर्क क्यों है? Does it stem from our ability, at least historically, to live with more diverse thoughts and ideas?
So Western traditions are based on standardization. So everything is standardized. So for 1,000 years after the Roman Empire became Christian, every village में church will follow the same rules. वही Latin का रिचुअल होगा, वैसे ही होगा. द संडे के दिन तुम आओगे चर्च में, लैटिन में मास. इट्स ओनली अबाउट 50-100 years ago लैटिन मास वाज चेंज्ड. लैटिन मास होगा, पादरी आके ऐसे ही बोलेगा, एवरीबॉडी विल गो एंड कन्फेस. सो एक स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन का जो कल्चर है इज वेरी वेरी स्ट्रांग इन द वेस्ट, व्हिच आल्सो टर्न्स इनटू इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन. इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन में एफिशिएंसी होता है, सब कुछ स्टैंडर्डाइज करने से एफिशिएंसी होता है. कपड़े भी स्टैंडर्डाइज्ड होंगे, बोलने का तरीका स्टैंडर्डाइज होता है. सो द टेंडेंसी इन द वेस्ट, एंड दिस रियली रिलेटेड टू स्ट्रॉन्ग बिलीफ इन मोनोथियज्म or monotruism. Two things. Monotruism, when you believe there is only one idea which is good, then you try to go, tendency is to go towards homogeneity. So anywhere in the world, the moment you see somebody says ki yehi sahi hai, one idea is true, then they will the tendency is to go towards homogeneity. India is a very unique place. We have always said that nahi, there are many ideas. जैसे जैनियों में होगा का idea अनेकांतवाद, बहुवाद, gods के अलग-अलग form होंगे. and therefore food is also different. हर community का अलग food होगा, हर caste का food अलग होगा, त्योहार में food अलग होगा. So and the स्वादानुसार जब होता है कि every food is continuously changing, we don't even know किसके स्वादानुसार, खाने वाले के या पकाने वाले के, खाने वाले के. So there's continuous arbitration and negotiation happening in our country. For example, in the West, when the police stop you, you don't negotiate with the police. Your police is the law. You see the police as the law representing the state. India में हम उनसे बात करेंगे, प्यार से बात करेंगे, we'll try to negotiate. तो हर चीज में हम negotiate करते हैं. हर चीज में, वो वेस्ट में कॉन्सेप्ट ही नहीं है. एक ही रूल सब जगह चलता है. इंडिया में हर चीज नेगोशिएट होता है, तो खाना में भी नेगोशिएट होता है. वन ऑफ द रीजंस व्हाई मास्टर शेफ इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू डू इन इंडिया इज बिकॉज द फूड स्टॉप्स बीइंग इंडियन, बिकॉज मास्टर शेफ इज बेस्ड ऑन प्लेटिंग एंड स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन, एंड इट इज देयर इज अ राइट फूड, देयर इज अ करेक्ट वे टू कुक. देयर इज नो करेक्ट वे टू कुक इन इंडिया. मेरी माँ का सांबार इज द बेस्ट. There is no standard sambar which is the right. There is no, like souffle का एक perfect standard होगा. You will never have perfect dal, perfect sambar. You cannot create it, and anybody does that is artificial. वो लगता नहीं है उसमें. It is not considered to be good quality at all. So that is a psychologically, because truth is established between two people. There is no transcendent truth in the. So that is a big idea कि सच हम दोनों के बीच में decide होता है. जैसे लिटरली मियाँ बीवी राजी तो क्या करेगा काजी. सो सेम वे इफ द शेफ एंड द ईटर इज कंफर्टेबल, देयर इज नो गॉर्डन रैमसी who's coming and telling me what is the right way to cook.
Got it.
I know. I always kept asking this question when I was on MasterChef Theatre. कोई गलत सही नहीं है. I was on the show as well in 2015.
Oh, so that is I see the MasterChef show and I keep telling plating नहीं होता है इंडिया में. This is nowadays of course you have got these new restaurants which try to do it, but that's a Western. उसमें खाना दिखता है इंडियन, but इंडियन नहीं लगता है. But when I go to an Anna's kitchen where he's serving food in this very obnoxious way, but you eat it स्वाद की वजह से, and वो भीड़ होती है, वहाँ पे you get the feeling of an Indian food, which you don't get in a plated restaurant.
Now it is modern Indian, which is plating.
So it's a new ways of eating, but in India, parosna was very important. See, the parosna concept is not there in Chinese food. It's not there in Western food. This parosna, this action of parosna is a very peculiarly Indian trait. The Chinese use chopsticks. The mother serving the food is not a cultural form. You don't see the image of a Chinese goddess holding a kadichi in her hand. This idea of mother serving food, Mother Mary को kitchen के साथ नहीं जोड़ा जाता है. This idea of cooking and serving food is related to the Vedic ritual of serving the gods. वो जो आप यज्ञ में हवन देते हो, वही रिचुअल है. ये एक्ट जो राइट हैंड को आप ऐसे अपने शरीर के तरफ मोड़ रहे हो, this movement is a very sacred movement in India. You don't find this outside India. It is cultural, not even religious. It is cultural. So if somebody will serve you food with the left hand, you'll get very irritated. It doesn't matter what religion it is. ये लेफ्ट हैंड से नहीं सर्व करोगे. आप पैसे किसी को लेफ्ट हैंड में दोगे तो लोगों बोलेंगे कैसे, you have not been cultured. So these things make a difference.
What does that mean, by the way? अगर because मैंने लेफ्ट हैंड से पैसे दिए हैं, मैंने बहुत डांट सुनी है लोगों से.
Because left hand is used for ablutions, ना?
अच्छा.
What do you use for one end of the alimentary canal and the other end of the digestive tract? Na?
Yeah.
One is used for your stomach and one is used for your mouth and one is used for your anus. So automatically left and right का significance आ गया यहाँ पे. So that becomes left-handed. अभी left-handed है, but tradition. So they face a lot of problem in these across the world. This was only now we are saying left and right hand is okay. But until 100 years ago, they were treated very badly. Left-handed people had to suffer a lot.
Got it.
Yeah. They were also called devil and all, if I'm not wrong. कुछ तो
sinistra, na? The word sinistra.
Okay. So, since we were on the topic of West versus India, there's been this tradition which our ancestors have been following, eating tradition of Ayurveda. Not just eating tradition, lifestyle tradition. It is very complex, customizable for every person. Diverse. It takes into account diversity of our bodies, right? And then there's Western dietary science, which has now come up, which is very recent. Which one do you think is superior, or do you think both can survive together?
They're very different approaches. They're very different. One is the Indian approach is the humor's approach, which was the traditional approach. Now is the scientific, which is measurement based. So Ayurveda is not based on measurement. And modern medicine, modern nutritional practices are based on measurement. So we should separate the two. The approach only is different. So जब आप वात पित्त की बात करते हो, it is very different way of looking at the body. So you can't compare and contrast the two. You know what? People can't handle two truths in most parts of the world because we have been conditioned कि एक ही सच होता है. This is a very Western idea कि there's only one truth. And now Indians have also adopted it कि there is one truth. ऐसे नहीं होता है. I've heard somebody saying Vedas में लिखा है and all that kind of things. What it means is that everybody has their own truth and everybody will create different ways of looking. So you can't rules that work for one group of people will not work for other group of people. But the West has solved so many problems: deficiencies, malnutrition, malnourishment. This Ayurveda never solved. Please understand, when we're talking about vitamin deficiencies, vitamin C deficiency, D deficiency, blindness because of vitamin A deficiency, malnutrition, all that, the West has had that mass industrial thing has its benefits, has its role. We have now understood how calories work. We have understood how sugar works, what does sugar do to the body. And we have also seen how Western science has been manipulated by the industrialized. How when I was in medical college, I was told that sugar is very bad. Sugar is good and fat is bad. And now the reverse is being told in 20 years later because of manipulation of data and how scientists have been manipulated by the industrial lobby and capitalists. So science का भी problem होता है because it is controlled by politics and all that. And Ayurveda is also, people go overboard with Ayurveda कि ये सब कुछ ठीक कर देगा. But that depends on good Ayurvedic doctor and you must have access. It is not mass. It is not available to everyone. All Indians don't have access to Ayurvedic facilities. Again, caste comes into the picture. When we are saying Ayurveda, it is only for upper caste and upper, the lower caste did not have access. How many of you all know Dalit cuisine? Do you know what a Dalit cuisine is? There is only one book written in Marathi, that, as far as I know, which talks about what Dalit cuisine was. They were not allowed to eat. They were allowed to eat only dead animals, not slaughtered animals, dead animals. They were allowed to eat only leftover food. They were allowed to not cook. They had to cook what was thrown out. So those abhi usko cuisine bana ke restaurant banao. Let me see how many people will do that. So when we say Indian cuisine, we really mean upper caste cuisine.
Got it.
We don't mean poor man's cuisine. Garib aadmi ka khana nahi khate hum log. Blood clot is eaten by Dalits, but it is considered no upper caste man will eat. Blood clot is not part of our diet. It is. I remember when I went to London and I ate blood clot, people got so upset, and they said, "Devdutt, you are doing this." I said, "If you insult food, your children will starve and die." So then they stopped attacking me.
तो श्राप देता हूँ.
हाँ, मैं तो श्राप देता हूँ. जो खाने के ऊपर श्राप देता है, मैं बोलता तुम्हारे बच्चे भूखे मरेंगे. चलो.
श्राप से ज्यादा हम श्राप के बारे में बात करेंगे, लेकिन इस सवाल के बाद, because you talked about there's no one truth, right? तो the great king Nal और माइथोलॉजी के हिसाब से दो, एटलीस्ट मेरी माइथोलॉजी जितना मैंने पढ़ा है, कि नल और भीम दो बहुत ही प्रसिद्ध और फेमस शेफ या फिर बावर्ची हुआ करते थे. नाउ भीम के नाम पे, इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, कोई ऐसी कोई किताब नाम करके नहीं आई है शायद. ऑफ कोर्स यू हैव द उंधियू एंड अदर थिंग्स कि हाँ वो भीम ने शायद बनाई होगी, खाई होगी, एंड देन द स्टोरी ऑफ कि वो खा के कैसे, आई थिंक खीर खा के वो कैसे उनको समुद्र फेंक दिया गया था और सांप ने डसा था, इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, ऐसा कुछ था. लेकिन नल के नाम पे, किंग नल के पाक दर्पिका या पाक दर्पणम जो किताब आई है, व्हिच सेज कि इसमें नल की रेसिपीज हैं. तो अगर ये माइथोलॉजी है, अगर ये स्टोरी है, अगर ये रियलिटी नहीं है, तो फिर नल की किताब कैसे आई है, और व्हाट इज द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ दिस थिंग?
सी, नल इज लाइक अ ब्रांड. तो ब्रांड का नाम होता है. तो किसी ने किताब लिखा था. सो इन इंडिया पीपल वुड नेवर गिव देयर ओन नेम टू अ वर्क ऑफ आर्ट. तो कुछ भी बहुत सुंदर मंदिर बनाओगे तो बोलेंगे विश्वकर्मा ने बनाया है. कोई भी अच्छा क्विजीन होगा तो बोलेंगे नल ने बनाया है. सो आप अपना नाम नहीं देते हो. ये गिविंग योर ओन नेम टू अ वर्क ऑफ आर्ट इज अ वेरी रिसेंट फिनोमेना. ट्रेडिशनली यू विल गिव इट टू द गॉड्स कि ये विष्णु जी ने बनाया है. तो दिस इज हाउ राजा भी आप बनोगे किसी, जैसे जो सिखों में they would never say hum Raja hai. The Raja Ranjit Singh will say Granth Sahib is the ruler of the country. So that is the way आप इसको एक attribute देते हो. So one of the oldest books written on that we have based on great cuisines was attributed to Nal. Now the idea of Nal as king is a South Indian story. North India में नहीं आता है वो story.
Yeah.
It's only in Kerala mostly that you get this idea that Nal was a great cook. But really you want to show कि एक राजा था एक समय वो इतना गरीब हो गया कि वो बावर्ची बन गया. जो राजा होता था, जो भोग विलास में रहता था, he becomes so poor one day that he ended up as a cook. And a cook was also a prestigious position in families because it means इतना भी नहीं गिरा था, उसको किचन में अलाउड था, so he didn't lose his caste. So
got it.
That's interesting. So you're saying it's written by some human being but credited it to Nal. And that
everything
makes sense
is written
now.
by human beings.
I mean,
Nothing is written by anybody else but human beings. Last time I checked.
I didn't see that coming.
Before we jump on to our end segment, which is overrated, underrated, एक final question है देवदत्त आपके लिए. Multiple truths की बात की हमने, तो एक हमारी डाउट है सोमरस के बारे में. सोमरस के बारे में भी मल्टीपल ट्रूथ्स हैं. फूड हिस्टोरियन केटी अचाया, he says it's made with cannabis, others say it's made with alcohol, कोई कहता है ओपियम है. What is your take on this debate कि सोमरस किससे बनता है?
It's been researched very well. It's ephedra. It's a plant which is found in Afghanistan and Central Asia.
Got it.
It's been very well recognized. People are trying to make it exotic and magical. You read the verses Som Mandala. It is a drug which would make you. It doesn't create hallucinations. It is an upper. It gives you. It is like Alderol. It gives you a high. तो जो पढ़ाई नहीं होती है तो पूरे रात जाग के पढ़ना है तो you take these drugs which are like Alderol which keep you very active and increase your concentration level. So that is what Som is. So it is ephedra. It has been proved which species of ephedra we are not 100% sure because they wanted a particular mountain में growing, a particular mountain Mujawat बोलते हैं, which is probably in the border of China and Tajikistan. So that area there is a mountain which is most probably, but people have not traveled there and not actually, but people are fairly confident it is the ephedra family. So adrenaline, जिसको बोलते हैं adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
So this was something which was gave you an adrenaline rush. So it obviously may give you a lot of energy, give you a lot of strength, made you नींद नहीं आती थी, you felt very happy, you felt strong. It's an upper. So it's not a hallucinogen for sure. Hallucinogen is referred in Atharva Veda. They have referred very clearly to cannabis indica, जो भांग हम जिसको बोलते हैं, but वो बाद में आता है, which is a very Indian part because we know it comes in Central Asia. And as they moved away from Central Asia, they started importing it. So Rigveda clearly talks of वो seller आता है, हम seller से खरीद रहे हैं. And as they kept moving towards the Gangetic plain, then Somalata was used. So they started using substitutes as they moved away from Central Asia. So there is a clear, a lot of people, scholars have done. Dr. Kocher has done some work on it. Just Google it. It's ephedra now. Now, see, this was in the 1970s जब hippie movement चालू था. So people wanted it to be a hallucinogen drug. So they said it is mushrooms and all that. But the people writing it were fond of mushrooms. So they said Somras is mushroom. But it is not a scientific understanding. When you read the verses very clearly, it is not a hallucinogen. It is an upper. And probably when people were having this, उनको वो एक नशा चढ़ता था कि वो युद्ध भूमि में जाते समय they would feel very strong, they would feel powerful. जब डर लगता है तो anybody who has taken Alderol, it's a very dangerous drug because it keeps you awake all night and your concentration level shoots up. Yeah. But then there's a downer also. Yeah. So, but that's all it is. Ephedra hai. और कुछ नहीं है. It's they've identified the plant. They've identified it, so it's no longer controversial for people who actually read books.
It's true.
We need to read more books.
आधे सुधे काम करके आ जाते हैं, पता नहीं कहाँ से आजकल के लौंडे. So it's not alcohol. What is alcohol then?
Sura is alcohol. Barley से बनता था, barley से. So Indra would take Soma and Varuna would take Sura. And Indra was associated with movement whenever they would be traveling. That means nomadics. They were mix of nomads and settled communities. So they would move and they would settle. They would move and they would settle. So when they would move, the king was Indra. and he would take Somras. When they would settle down, Varuna would become the king. But because it is settled, फिर उस समय वो नशा कर सकते थे, because you're not traveling anymore. तो barley से बनता था यवा से बनता है sura. So sura is alcoholic, and so it's one is an upper and one is a downer. So Somras is upper and sura is a downer. So you could afford to take. तो sura is varuni है जो अमृत मंथन से निकलता है. So wine comes from Amrit Manthan. So it's the grinding movement say associated with fermentation. So Balram ji ko associated with Sura also. So Balram ji is associated with cannabis. He's associated with hallucinogen comes more with Shivji and all that, but that's a much later tradition. But Sura is very clearly alcohol.
Correct. Before we go to the break, I remember reading Chandi Mandal, and then in Chandi Mandal it mentioned about Shivji and how भूख लगी थी और किस तरीके से वो गुस्सा हो गया, तुम्हारा बेटा सब खा जाता है, and then how he left his house. So people who haven't read Chandi Mandal.
In the tribal community, it is said that tobacco was invented to keep Shivji को खाने को कुछ नहीं मिलता था, तो उनके लिए tobacco बनाया गया था, ताकि he would chew tobacco and not be hungry anymore.
I didn't know tobacco has that.
Although tobacco comes to India only in the 16th century, so these are all new stories. We don't really, as the tobacco came into India, all tobacco stories mostly are tribal stories, mostly tribal community stories, because they would grow it for the Portuguese, brought it to India. So
I wanted to avoid this question, but then because you mentioned about this in a way folklore, I might as well ask it before we slip into the break, which is I think in Mahabharata itself, you mentioned about jackfruit. कि किस तरीके से कटहल को रखा जाता है पैर दबाने के लिए, और वाइफ को बोलते हैं कि भाई एक काम करो, उसके पैर दबा दो, मजाक में होता है, एंड देन शी गॉट रियली एंग्री सेइंग कि ऐसे कैसे मस्ती कर रहे हो तुम मेरे साथ. तो उन्होंने इस फ्रूट को श्राप दिया कि तुम्हें कभी इतना ऐसे नॉर्मल सा स्किन, मतलब ऐसे खूबसूरत सा स्किन नहीं होगा, तुम्हें ऐसे थॉर्न्स निकल जाएंगे. तो एक तो ये क्लियरली साउंड्स लाइक अ फोकलोर. Is there any other interesting folklore like that?
So it suddenly doesn't come to mind, but all gods are associated with folklore. Like sugarcane is associated with Kamdev, and you can understand, the juicy stalk. It's clearly a metaphor for something. Now you can figure out what is a juicy stalk in your life. So every will be having these kind of ये जो सीताफल रामफल होता है, सीताफल custard apple, ramphal is bull's heart, but these are all recent foods. They've just come into India. It is not that सीता जी के जमाने में के था, but people now हनुमान फल आ गया है, अभी कुछ कमलम बनाया है dragon fruit को. So you have given these names to these fruits which have come from Southeast Asia. You have all these, lots of stories are there. Grass which you have on the ground is Sita ji, when she went under the earth, Ram tried to catch hold of her and only the blades of grass were left behind. So जो भी घास दिखता है वो सीता जी के बाल के tips हैं. So that these are the stories that you get. So
interesting. I didn't know this. On that very nice Sita ji's note, let's take a small break. And we are back in the last segment, which is going to be the amazing segment. We all love it. At least I do. Ajit also does, I think. Which is underrated and overrated food. So, Devdutt, your absolute underrated food.
I think Odia food pokhada hota hai, which is rice water. I don't know I don't know how to explain it to people.
Yeah.
You have to eat it. It's a process.
Yeah.
Which is basically rice fermented overnight and eaten the next day. And it's sort of slightly fermented, and it's a summer day. It is the best thing to cool your body. So I have pokhada parties in my house. My friends come and we all eat it. And it's a very messy way. There's no nice way of eating pokhada. And I think it's very simple, but it's also very fun. And all people come together, and after that you drink the water, which is slightly alcoholic, and go to sleep. So it's very satisfying.
And overrated?
I think overrated for me is Thai food, really. I don't like Thai food. It just connect with me. People make so much about it. I like the Thai salads, but wo jo green and red curry mujhse nahi hota hai. I think it's just, people love it and celebrate it, but it doesn't work for me. I don't know why. I can't explain it. I've tried very hard. I've tried to understand. My friends swear by it, but I avoid going to Thai restaurants. That's why. I don't know why. I only like the papaya salad, which I love.
I love the papaya salad as well.
You have been living in Mumbai since a while now. Have you always been living in Mumbai?
Yeah. I'm a Bombayite. I've lived
here. Oh, not from Odisha. I always thought you're also from Odisha.
No. My parents are from Odisha, but I'm not.
So in Mumbai, if somebody is there, 3 places that they must go to, or 3 food that they must eat.
Well, I think you should have the Konkani food, which you get nowadays a lot. The fish and the rice, the simple, like there is Sadicha in Bandra East, which is very good. And with kokum, which is a very local flavor dish, is something that I think people should try a lot. Also the local food, which is like thetsa, which is just crushed onions and mirchi and all that. It's very tasty with bhakri. So I like the local Marathi food because I don't think it's very popular outside the bajra, jawar ki roti jo hoti hai and all that. That's is something that I definitely recommend. Street food, I personally like the batata puri a lot. I genuinely, anywhere. There used to be one person in Matunga who used to make it, but in my college days. Now I don't know if he's still there. But he was just exquisite. And you would see all these people coming in fancy cars, standing there, behaving like beggars, that please make it for me. And it was quite funny to see that, people in the fanciest of outfits reduced to this salivating mongrels literally around him. And he would be so still and say, line mein aiye. And he would give you that thing. So that I think that is my favorite thing. I think these 2 things are my favorite thing that I can think of.
Got it.
But I also enjoy. I've started developing a taste for Italian food nowadays. Amongst the cuisine. I don't know why. I think it's very different from the the way they use cheese in so many different ways and pasta. I've just developed a knack for it. So I try out a lot of these Italian spaces nowadays. Also now they've उसके अंदर वो वघार डालने लगे हैं, कड़ी पत्ता डालने लगे.
Desi versions of Italian.
Desi versions of Italian.
Yeah.
You said ना homogeneity. Indian से थोड़ा ये
हम लोग सब जगह मसाला डाल देंगे.
बिल्कुल.
If you don't realize it's
Fantastic. Devdutt, before we let you go, do you have a project or a book that you've recently written or are you writing that you want to tell our listeners about?
So I've just released my new book called Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha in English and Hindi, which is basically an essay on, really it's about food because I look at food as a metaphor and for whom do you prepare food. So Artha is about generating food, Kama is about consuming food, Dharma is about feeding other people, and Moksha is about saying you're not hungry at all.
Lovely.
So that's the Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha can be explained. The entire Indian philosophy can be explained using food. So I use that as a metaphor. Spirituality समझने के लिए आपको food समझना पड़ेगा.
Fantastic.
Right away.
Yeah.
To understand more food. और clearly हमें किसी भी किताब पढ़ने की जरूरत है.
हमें तो किताब पढ़ने की जरूरत है. आपने कह दिया.
ठीक है.
All right.
On that note, it was an absolute pleasure to have you on the show, Devdutt. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, Devdutt. Thanks a lot. Bye.